Happy Friday, genderqueer chat. This week's topic is... Oh, I hope I didn't just lose my prompt. I did. This week's topic is... Okay, here we go. Is it harder to be trans or genderqueer? I actually did read this, but I wanted that sentence because I don't want to go over the whole paragraph. I would say, honestly, it really depends on the person who's going through it. For me, from my personality type, I think it would be a lot harder to be straight trans because there's not as much to play with in there. Like, it would mean that I would be exchanging this female expectation for a male expectation, which isn't the point. The point is to get away from both expectations entirely. So if you're an adventurous, like, outgoing, experimenting, want to experience as much as possible in the world kind of person, being just straight trans would be a lot harder. For what I imagine would be most people, I can see genderqueer being a lot harder because there's no goal. Like, when you're trans, yes, it sucks. You're being persecuted and treated like shit. Everything is fucked up. Your body's wrong, etc., etc. You fight. You have to spend absurd amounts of money to be comfortable with yourself, which, yeah, a lot of genderqueer people have to do anyway, myself included. But you have a goal, and not all of them can reach that goal, but if you can make that goal, you're more than likely than not, you're accepted as your target gender. You can actually go on to live a sort of normal-ish life, at least in the public eye, and the fact that you're trans doesn't matter anymore. Like, as far as needing to explain to family and friends and everybody you meet and this and that and yada yada yada, you know, it's still more complicated than being a regular cisgendered individual when it comes to those topics, but there's a goal. You start, you do some things that are pretty easily outlined, and you finish, and you're done. Whereas being genderqueer, you're never... Yes, there are, like, safe spaces, but most of those are in major cities. Like, out in the fucking boonies where I live, there's nothing... People tag me as a guy or a girl, and even if I said I was trans, most people wouldn't get it. They'd be like, wait, you're a tranny? Like, are you in porn or something? Just in places where people are ignorant to the very concept of gender, which is almost everywhere, you would really have to explain yourself, and still most people wouldn't get it. So, again, for me, being straight trans would be a lot harder, but as far as social interactions, and if I ever get tired of being queer, being queer would be a lot tougher, because I'm never going to be able to settle for either gender binary. I'm always going to be fighting against that system, those social norms and expectations to express who I am, which for me is like half the fun and excitement. It gives me something to do.